Hi everyone, I'm Mike, and this is the Sunday Art Show. Now this week we're doing something a little bit different on the channel. I'm actually going to take you around an exhibition which is held at Exeter Castle, and it's the Southwest Academy of Fine and Applied Arts, and it's the annual open exhibition. So a wide variety of artists, and the venue, as you can see, it's built within the ancient walls of Exeter Castle. But the actual buildings that the paintings and the sculptures are in, you can see is rather more modern. So we're just heading through here to the entrance. And this was one of the first paintings which caught my eye. It's actually pastel. I love the sense of light in this one, by Michael Norman. And there's another pastel as well. Beautiful reflections in the water, kind of impressionist style, lovely vibrant colours. But I'm actually heading into Gallery 2 first. And you can see we've got a lovely wide range of artwork, lots and lots of different styles. Big canvases, small canvases, we've got acrylic, we've got oil, we've got textiles, we've got lino cut, some digital photography, some watercolour, lots and lots of different styles, lots of different subject matters as well. So for example, we've got a beach scene and then another beach scene, but in between we've got a view of the sea with ornaments on the windowsill you can just see there. So there's a lovely pebble beach with the red cliffs. I think that's Sidmouth. Not 100% sure about that. That's Sidmouth. And here, as I mentioned a second ago, lovely little still life in the foreground with a seascape and landscape in the background. So that was really cool. This seascape here is by Alan Cotton. Lovely sense of light. This painting is kind of abstract expressionist, and that's by James Tayton. We'll come back to that in a bit. So this is sort of my first impression of the exhibition, just kind of looking around fairly quickly. I love the colours in that one, and what I'll do in a little bit is I'll take you through some of the other paintings in a bit more detail. This is by Ray Bulkwell, who's a very well-renowned artist from this area. He works a lot in mixed media and captures the estuary, the river estuary in this area. So we've got a lovely watercolour there. I love this work. I thought the style here was absolutely fantastic. I really loved the work by David Brooke. Now these two paintings you may have seen on TV before, these and this third one here as well. So this painting, painted by Greg Mason, who got to the semi-final and the final of Sky Arts Landscape Painter of the Year back in 2018. Very atmospheric paintings here as well of some yachts down at the coast. So I love the sense of light, you know, with relative simplicity there. Now the other really good thing was, which I wasn't expecting actually, within the exhibition of all these esteemed and often nationally, if not internationally renowned artists, they've included this little selection by local children of all ages. So I thought that was fantastic. That was really good to see that they do that. And again, some great work here. So we've got digital photography here. I thought that was a very emotive piece there. We've got a lino cut here, and then I can't remember what that one is. I think that's needlework. And then you can see they've even included some very young artists, so that's really great, I think, to introduce people so young to the world of exhibiting to the public. You know, what a thrill for them to be able to, you know, come along to the venue and see their work alongside all of these established artists. I really liked the mood of this piece. I thought that was really cool. As you can see, that one's by Robert Matthew. And this one I absolutely love the delicacy of. I zoomed in close for you here. I wanted you to see the texture and the lightness of touch that has been used to capture this still life of these flowers in glass vases. There was just something about the painting which really kind of spoke to me, really. I thought it was absolutely delightful. Really great work there. And that one's by Adrian Parnell, Iris, Daisies and Buttercups. Now this was also one of my favourite paintings. Look at the thin paint used on the tunic and the modelling in the face by Ken Cosgrove. Self-portrait. That's the one I actually voted for as my favourite painting. Another Southwest beach scene here. Love the simplicity of strokes and the power of the colours and light that Phil Creek uses. Here's another couple. Look at the sparkle on the wet sand on the left-hand painting. Really great. Those are acrylic on board. Now this portrait, absolutely fantastic. The simplicity of the hair, but capturing a near photorealistic effect. Rupert Brooks, where I end and you begin, the pensive look the girl has. And these were very atmospheric as well. Coal miners depicted in near monochrome by Tony Williams. Sorry, not coal miners, shipbuilders off shift. Really fantastic work. I love the atmospheric light and the near monochrome. Oh, that's the one with the miners. My mistake earlier. So that one was the miners painting. But really fantastic work. Now into Gallery 1. So as I said, I looked at Gallery 2 first, but into Gallery 1. And there was this massive painting on the wall, about 30 feet by 40 feet. So that was kind of a really cool to have that overlooking the scene. But look at the wonderful light here, captured by Richard Thorne using watercolour. I would never have guessed at a glance that was watercolour. This one is a view of Dartmouth by Simon Ashby. I also really like the textures and the loose brush strokes in that one. Really cool. Another fantastic sense of light and strong light as well. Once again, that's by Richard Thorne, but this time with gouache. And look at this wonderful landscape, really capturing the clouds and the gloom we sometimes get here in Devon over the rolling fields and countryside. And then there are obviously some more abstract pieces as well. I really like the colour and the composition of this one by Laura Evans. And here we have a beautifully rendered horse, near photographic. A distant landscape with trees on the horizon line. Another moody landscape. Vibrant yellows and oranges in that one there on the bottom. So Simon Parr again, and Sally Lancaster. Sally Lancaster was the horse painting. And then Stephen Buckler. Now this portrait was absolutely stunning. I really loved it. Now this is much more complex and finished than the Ken Cosgrove one I mentioned before. This one's by Jeff Shalito. Second Glance it's called. Almost, over realistic. And I mean that as a compliment. Every nook and cranny, beautiful brushwork, really captivating look in the eyes. This one's by a guy called Nick Cotter. Boatyard Dreams, digital photography. I loved that one as well. Lovely brushwork and trickles and runs of paint and colour and movement in that one by Clark Nickel. Acrylic on paper. And then I like this painting as well. Lovely and light touch. That was really good by Anne Cracknell. So you can see it's a lovely venue, Exeter Castle, that they provide here for an exhibition. You can kind of wander around. The rooms are nice and spacious. They've got room for these huge canvases. And really good exhibition to go and check out because of the variety, I think. Now this one, I thought was very captivating. The two angles of the same face overlapping. Now that's a solar plate etching. Now I don't know the details of how that's created actually. I need to look that up. I'll try and find out for you and pop that up on screen. I love the patchwork nature of this particular piece as well, and I like the frame as well. I don't know whether that's pre-used wood or what, but I thought it worked wonderfully. And this is hand-sewn textiles. So massive amount of work going in here. Now this one I thought was a really powerful image. The vibrancy of the vertical stripes, the relative simplicity of the people, and yet they've really captured a sense of what's going on. You really felt those two people were just chilling out and having a nap in the sun. Really great painting. Oh, I think that was superb. So lots of loose gestural work in the sky here, and that looseness has been beautifully maintained across the entire painting. That one was of Polzeath Beach down in Cornwall, which is a fantastic spot. Really beautiful. Now this one is by a lady called Cherry Ferris, and this is actually pyrography. So this has been burned into wood, and then gold leaf has been used in the background to enhance the appearance. And this artist actually came along to one of my art workshops that I gave in Exeter a few months ago. So that was really cool to kind of see her work there. I wasn't expecting that. And an absolutely fantastic piece. Service Please, perfectly titled. I also love this one as well with the magenta background. Kind of a graphic style of painting, but it is oil on canvas. And again, perfectly capturing the emotion of the face in relatively few patches of paint. Wonderful sense of light on that tractor in the landscape there. And this portrait by Richard Lewis I thought was fantastic as well. Really good stuff. Look how vibrant these fish are, swirling around each other in amongst the black of the water. So that was great. And the orange really popped, the coy anticipation. These are prints by Kathy King. I think they're multiple lino cut, I think they're called. Multi-block lino cut. So that's one of Budleigh Beach. We were actually down at Budleigh Beach on the channel a few weeks ago. I did some watercolour paintings working outdoors. And that's another fantastic lino cut as well. Migration Autumn. So really beautiful, beautiful work. Now this guy here is working in near monochrome. And you can see, beautifully captured boats. Greg Ramsden. Now I've got a feeling that Greg and I actually exhibited in the... I don't know him, but we exhibited in the Coves Quay Gallery around about the same time a few years ago. That's down at Salcombe. This was a fantastic piece as well. Carolyn King, Ladies Who Bowl. Yeah, I loved that one. That was really great. And then this was just unbelievably delicate, paper-thin petals, this painting's called. Look at how translucent that glass is. Really beautiful. Lovely sense of sand and pools of water running across the beach by Clark Wood. And some of these landscapes and seascapes, they really made me think, well, I want to find out where these places are. Where is Bennett's Mouth? I need to look that up and actually go there because they were so, they created such emotion. This was fantastic. From across the room, you really felt like you were looking through a window. Early Morning, Old Mill, that one's called. And then you had more surreal stuff. Look at this fantastic image of this girl with a stag running through her hair, which is made of trees. So that was really, really cool to see. Now I thought I'd just take a little bit of a wider angle to show you around Gallery 1 with a slightly more distant perspective, just to give you an idea of the sense of scale of that huge painting on the wall that I mentioned earlier, but also some of the other works that I've shown you. And once again, you can see there's a wonderful variety of work and styles here. Now this still life at the bottom there, I'll come back to that in a second, but before I do, look at this. Now doesn't that look like these curved leaves, or whatever they are standing proud of the paper? But in fact, that's a painting. How incredible is that effect? Doesn't it look 3D? And when you're standing there, it really does look 3D. As you can see on camera, absolutely incredible illusion created by Leslie Jones. I absolutely loved that. And she's done another one as well down below. Once again, it looks for all the world that those are sitting on top of the canvas with these beautiful, translucent, multiple cast shadows. But as you can see, canvas is completely flat. Now this still life was brilliant because from a distance, look at the light catching on that bowl in the foreground. As I come in close though, look at the texture in the paint. So this artist has been able to create the wonderful illusion of perfectly smooth porcelain. This is Sandy Carter, but using heavily textured paint. Now in contrast to that, this figure study you can see is near photographic in style. So this was the artist that painted the horse earlier, Sally Lancaster. Divine calmness, and that's a beautifully created piece. In contrast to that style again, look at the looseness of this. Absolutely incredible looseness. Look, scratches into the paint. Close up you can see, if the camera focuses, there we go, you can see the paint's been really whipped across the surface of the canvas in a very loose style, but you pull back and all of a sudden you're in Devon looking over the moorland and off to the distant hills, crossing the moor. That one is by Clark Nickel, acrylic on canvas again. So this is Simon Ashby, this is Thatcher's Rock. This is another place I need to find out, well, where is Thatcher's Rock? Because it really makes me want to go there. I assume it's down in Cornwall from the look of it. And this is another coastal spot I want to find. Look at the colours in the rocks, lovely. And that's definitely down in Cornwall. I'm not sure how to pronounce that name. Now back to the foyer. I skipped over this painting before, but this was quite a captivating painting actually, quite an unusual style. This person's really looking at you. Quite a narrative going on to the painting, open to interpretation as to what's going on. Jonathan Kudrill is the artist. Really, really cool. And then these by June Arnold, these are pastel paintings. Look at the sense of light and atmosphere and the beautiful impressionist style. So this is kind of loose precision, style I love. The faces haven't been described, but everything is in its place perfectly. Look at the intricate pattern on the chairs there. Absolutely fantastic work. Now this is the third gallery, and this features three-dimensional work, so lots of different sculptures. And as you can see, absolutely stunning work. Look at this woman's head. Yeah, I have great admiration for sculptors. I think the amount of work you have to put into an individual piece is just unbelievable. And I really love this kind of deconstructed violin. I thought this was absolutely fantastic. It looks almost like wood, but if memory serves me correctly, it was actually created out of bronze. I think it's absolutely beautiful. So that was by Andrew Thomas. Oh, sorry, it's a cello, not a violin. Just going back to that first sculpture, just wanted to see what that was made of. And that's iron resin. So, you know, really great work. We've got some print work here up on the walls in the same gallery. Rather unique sculpture there. Now this is a sculpture, a bronze sculpture of Baroness Floella Benjamin, and I'm not sure if she still is, but she was Chancellor of the University of Exeter, so I've actually seen her in person, and I can assure you that's a fantastic likeness. So that was really cool to see. And then we've got this huge pile of interlocked wooden dowels, multiple colours. And I have to say, I don't know whether they're bonded together, but I think the artist is very brave, because I didn't touch it, obviously, but I think somebody's going to be tempted to pull out one of those bottom dowels. So I thought I'd go back into Gallery 2, because I just had a relatively quick look before, and I wanted to look at some of the other paintings in more detail. So this is the work by James Tatum that I looked at before, and there's another one of his. And I actually met James a couple of years ago. We both ended up in the final of the Devon Life Landscape Painter of the Year competition, and then we had like a group exhibition down at Kingsbridge. And so I got to meet him then, lovely chap. And James actually ended up winning that competition, so that was really cool for him. And here's another one of his work. So the way he works is he goes out into the countryside, makes lots of sketches, and then comes back to his studio and kind of works on his emotional response to the landscape. So this is back to the seascape I mentioned before. I wanted to get a close-up of the sparkles of light on the wet sand. Look at the beautiful simplicity of the distant lump of rock there. Really great stuff by Phil Creek. I really love this work. Everything's beautifully simple, and yet it describes absolutely, I've been to that beach and it describes it perfectly. You know, really, really cool. Now here are the paintings again by Greg Mason on the wall, and I just wanted to give you an overview of Gallery 2 in the same way I did for Gallery 1 as well. Now check out this painting. This is something else, right? You look at it and it's this incredible scene, and then the more you look into it, the more there is going on. We've got this moth down in the bottom left corner, and then we kind of move across the canvas higher and higher. You know, lots of detail, lots of subtle brush strokes. And then you suddenly think, hello, there's an alligator or a crocodile, I'm not sure which it is, but hidden in the landscape. So that was really, I love paintings like that where you look at it and you think that's a cool image, and you look more closely, it's John Herford. And so obviously a crocodile, because this is the realm of the crocodile spirit. Acrylic on linen. But I love paintings where you look at them, and then the more you look at them, the more you discover. I think that's a wonderful experience for the viewer of a painting. And you know, sometimes you get paintings where months later you find a hidden image, and I think that's really great as well.